So,
Hey guys, I just realized as we went live, and we're just getting used to StreamYard and how that works so that we can bring you live video on Facebook with some of our guests, that the audio was not playing on that video, and it's because I have an external mic and headphones. So we will make sure we play that at the end for you as well, and I'll be able to unhook the mics and stuff. Right now, I want to bring in Kerry and Paul, and they are joining us from Colorado. The Kerry and Paul of Kerry, is it Pastine?
Pastine.
Pastine.
It
Okay,
rhymes. It rhymes with crime scene.
Oh, well, look, that makes a lot of sense too, doesn't it? Sorry, I didn't realize that what the audio wasn't playing, and my boyfriend came in from watching it outside, and he's like, "There's no audio," and I was like, "Oh, it's probably because I have headphones and an external mic plugged in." It's a great aesthetically pleasing video to watch. See, you're so good, we don't even need sound,
I was gonna say. Plus, there's silver boots
right?
stomping on the pedal of a Lincoln Continental. I mean, come on.
Amazing, yeah, amazing cars, amazing clothes, boots. I mean, yes, we didn't even need the sound. I will play it at the end though, and I'll unhook all of my externals so that so everybody can hear it, because I do love the song. I love the song in general. The whole album is great. You sent it for us to be able to listen to, and I had the headphones in, and I noticed that it was on repeat for like the third time because I just kept listening to it. I was enjoying it. But City of Love is something, it kind of reaches out to everybody right now with everything we're going through. So tell us about the two of you. Tell us about how the crime scene all came together, as long as you can without getting in trouble.
Okay. Well, I mean, Paul and I have been playing together since 2004. And so we are now married, and we're just like we're partners in crime.
Okay.
So that was, pretty easy on the name. But we met in a band called the Informants way back in 2004 and played together for I don't know, 8 to 10 years, somewhere in there. And I think that, I mean, there's some sort of magic that the two of us have, like, when bands disband, fall apart, whatever, people go their own ways, and we just continue to stay so connected. But I no, I won't say that. I won't say
You can say anything. It's like there is no censorship here. We are free to say
that, inevitably, if you're dry humping someone's leg on stage for 10 years,
they marry you. All right, Paul, why did it take 10 years of that? I mean,
life.
oh no.
Oh no, it's all good. It's great. I mean, it's one of those things too where we were bandmates first, and I mean, as any musicians that are watching can attest,
right.
Being in a band isn't easy, but yet it sometimes is, and it's the same with a life partner or whatever. I mean, you meet some people that you just naturally gravitate toward and get along with really well, and if you can get along in a band, then you can get along in just about any situation. Like even the quarantine, our current situation, as strange as it is, I mean, we live this way anyway. Like when we have a studio here. When we made the record, we went to Troy, our bass players, we call it the clubhouse, to do all the tracking, but then we did most of the post-production and everything else here, and it's just how we work. Carrie's doing more than half of the business in her office, and I'm doing, audio design and all that. We've done this from the beginning. We used to have power lunches in the Informants.
Yeah. Back in the day, I'd bring like a stack of vintage records, and we'd meet at this really cool restaurant called Bump and Grind. It was super kitschy. And then we just look at all these albums and go, yes, yes, yes. And he's such an amazing designer that it was just easy to pull off any idea, But now we've lived in this warehouse down in the art district.
Uh-huh.
And, we've lived here for a long time, but in a warehouse, you don't have doors and you don't have closed off walls. So I have this crazy office. I wish I could show you guys. And then he's on the other side of the wall, and I'm like, hey babe, like 1,000 times a day. So if he's not annoyed with me,
Oh, no way. Or you with me.
Yeah. If you have made it this long through that, I mean, two musicians lasting this long,
oh my God.
not only as musicians, but, and I say that with all the love and respect, because
Thank you.
I think artists are just a different breed of people, and that's for any type of artist. We're full time in an RV, in a 22-foot Class C RV. So there's not a lot of room, but after 32 years of trying to make things work,
Yes.
you just get used to somebody, and you learn how to. And so, yeah, the quarantine for us isn't any different, because it just is normal for us to be stuck so close together. But now, okay, so you all met at the Bump and Grind, and then and Mom, my mother's watching, so just don't even listen to me, Mom. And then after 10 years of dry humping, okay, you all have some themes going on here. Bump and Grind, and then that,
Totally.
and then the Informants and Crime Scene. What's up?
Well, that's a really great question.
The segue.
I mean, we really give a lot away, don't we?
It's okay.
It's just our language, just the way we talk. Well, I think one of the things I wanted to say about like being that couple, especially in a band, is that, bands, as you know, and musicians, were very delicate creatures. And so we just really wanted to make sure that we were doing the right thing for everyone. And that was one of the reasons that we didn't just like rush in and get together, because you don't want to mess up a good thing, but we knew how to be professional together forever. So I think it's carried on throughout all these years, just having that professional relationship, but just getting to be who we are, because we're naturally, pretty gregarious, and we love people, and we,
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for us. But the connection, though, we both really liked old school, like cinematic, cool styles of music, like something that feels like your music feels like it could be a soundtrack, and you're stepping into something that could be gritty, like a noir or a spaghetti western, or some sort of beach blanket bingo, or something super kitschy.
Yeah.
And we just kind of live our lives that way. Hence the orange couch.
And the painting above you, that's amazing.
The Casino Royale 1962 album that we love. And so, but there's this kind of kitsch and edge and just fun stuff that I think encompasses us. But we like to cuss, and we like to have a good time and kick up the dirt
and drink the wine, and
Exactly. And with the Informants, so that was a 7-piece band. It was a total blast, horns and everything, and it had kind of naturally run its course like bands do. And at the time that was going on, we wanted to tour, and so that was sort of where the Crime Scene came in, because there's a certain, I don't know, noir, again, those genres that we love. And then it was also, what rhymes with Pastine? And then actually, we both have Crime Scene tattoos from back in the Informants era.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think you looked at my arm, didn't you? And you're like, well, Crime Scene rhymes with it. And it's like,
it was that or Sex Machine.
Right. Which goes with the
that goes back to
but anyway, so that's kind of how the band started.
At least you all have an answer for these things. Like it's not just, oh, this was coincidence. It's just you all at least stick to a path, and hey, I have to admire that. But no, it is, the music is very and looking at our social medias and our websites, we typically do country. That's typically the genre that we are in, not so much because that's all we listen to, but because that's where all the real
our cat is pushing it over. He'll be in here.
Oh, that's fine. We welcome all creatures. Well, look, see, I lost the cat. No. I think that all our relationships and connections are huge in Nashville. So it just seems to be that that's what we cover a lot. But I found that during this quarantine, I've been listening to a lot of other things on social media. Um, and then when I came across you all, I was like, okay, this is so cool. It has this really great, like you said, gritty vibe to it, and with such a vintage feel, and yet it still makes you happy. And you all pull it off so well. I mean, you're great. I don't mean pull it off like you don't have the talent, you're pulling it off. You all do this, and it's amazing, from the artwork and the vintage feel of City of Love video to everything. And I was trying to come up with a graphic for you all, and I'm like, I can't find anything that is cool enough for their fit. So anyway, I'm real excited though, because tomorrow night you all have agreed to come into the country world.
You know what? We've toured Nashville and Austin. Well, we've toured, but what I loved our experience in Nashville, and we had some really cool coverage from Nashville Weekly. A really cool couple, TJ, Kate's.
Yeah, TJ and oh my gosh, they just had a little girl. I can look. I know TJ, but I cannot. Jill. Sorry, Jill.
And they were so gracious, and they put us on their show. And I mean, that was really when we were first just really hustling the crime scene, and man, we got like lots of love, and that was really cool. So we've stayed friends with them, and we've kept the connection and stuff. And I mean, we definitely miss touring, but we also miss Nashville and Austin. Oh, actually, we went to Austin. We got to see on New Year's Eve, we got to see Jimmy Vaughn, Sue Foley, Mike Flanagan, and
wow,
do the Jungle Room, and it was so cool. So,
I got goosebumps. That's really cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. So,
well, and Nashville is a artist city anyway. It's not just, everybody does associate it with country music because there's so much country history there, but it is a musician's city, an artist city for sure. And I think people are starting to open up to look at other genres too, because I think after a while, you just need to hear other things. Well, I know I do. I want to hear something else, and I still love my country. Don't get me wrong. And I did, if I'm honest too, I've got to find some rock for my boyfriend because, but it's like all our connections are there. So it's like, it's hard to get a hold of some of the rock that he likes. I'm talking like 80s, classic stuff.
Well,
and there's not great stuff like that out there now.
That's one of the reasons I think that we tend to tap into different genres. We like garage rock, and we like go, and we like surf, and we like blues and jump blues and swing. I mean, and Western swing, and I mean, it really, if it's vintage, and I really think that Nashville still got that there's a vintage feeling in the air.
Yes.
It's not just all about new country.
Right.
Right. Hillbilly, do you know Hillbilly Casino out there, the band? Because we played with them, and they're wonderful.
Look, I was thinking, I don't think we've been to that casino.
Oh yeah, no. They're fantastic, and their guitar player Ronnie Crutcher also plays upright. He plays a bunch of instruments, but he played upright bass on a couple of Brian Setzer tours and stuff.
I'm writing it down now so I can make sure I look it up.
And really, really cool people. And also another example of a great mixture of styles. There's rockabilly, there's rock and roll, great showmanship. It was a really fun show, a couple shows that we've done with them.
I can't tell you how many times Paul and I have been out and about in the last 15 years, or in like a Lyft or an Uber or whatever, and written lists for people of music that we want to turn them on to. And I feel like, oh, you guys, if you're loving country, you're going to love Joel Patterson, you know,
Right.
you're going to love JD McPherson. Like this is and we're always listening to new stuff coming out. But the one thing too is we really have good friends that are in that sort of vintage scene, like the Ameripolitan scene.
Right.
And so you guys are probably hip to that.
And there is a lot of, even with like the country, some of the country artists now, you're seeing a lot of them. And I think it's because of the whole quarantine thing too. You're seeing a surgence of them on social media, and they have a bigger platform and not getting run over by the top big labels in Nashville right now, because everything is shut down. But you're seeing things like Von Kiss. I don't know if you all checked him out, but it's Von Kiss and the Dark Horses. And I guess I'm kind of plugging him here, but I am, because the feel of his music is definitely a classic, just raw feel. And I think people have to remember that, you know, a dobro can be used in anything. It doesn't have to be just in a country song but things like that. But yes, I love everything you all are doing. And I'm so looking forward to, here's segue, tomorrow night. So you all are getting together and doing a backyard virtual concert Facebook takeover for us tomorrow night.
Yes, we are. Thanks to you.
Well, I couldn't do it. Look, I couldn't do it without you.
I mean, you know, it's interesting because we aren't sure what we should do, and we miss each other as far as bandmates. We miss each other terribly. We miss our friends, our fans, our family. We miss everybody so much. And you don't realize, I mean, I haven't really realized until Paul and I do something on Facebook, or we do like a little record party. We don't realize how much people need, how much live music and connection and love and just fun, you know?
Yeah.
Fun. We're trying to have fun.
Right.
But, you know, people have this other thing in the back of their head all the time. So thank you for suggesting that we do the concert tomorrow night. Our bass player's got a brand new house, a brand new backyard. He's trying to decorate it a little bit. Of course, I'm going to be facing the camera, and because when I sing, you know, it's like sneezing, honestly. So
we'll all have masks.
Right.
Because I tried to sing with a mask on, and talk about a shit show. It's hilarious. There's no having it. So I'm like, but they'll all have masks on, and we're respecting them and their loved ones and everything. And then I'll just be way ahead.
Yeah.
And
Well,
turn around and talk to them.
And you know, I mean, I think we're all getting a lot of different mixed messages, and I think that's probably the scariest part for everybody, is we don't know what to feel or what to do, and what we do know is we're missing everybody, and we're missing all of this stuff. And I mean, I haven't seen my daughter, I guess since the whole thing started, and it's like, well, you could come over for Mother's Day, and she's like, I can't, because the person that I work with is not quarantining. And so it's like, okay, I mean, I get it, but it's tough, because you want things to be normal. And yes, I spend a lot more time on social media, but I think it's because we're looking for the funny memes or the funny jokes about the situation we're in. And then I think, as always, music is so healing, or it gets us through something that maybe we didn't know it needed us to. Because if I'd have heard City of Love prior to this whole quarantine thing, I never would have associated it with, you know, that that's what we all need right now. But that's, you know, when you listen to those lyrics now, it takes on two different meanings. So,
oh, that's so cool. And I found that with other musicians. I'm listening to a song going, oh my God, I don't think they knew.
Right.
That message was going to be so important right now.
Right.
So exploring other styles, like you mentioned. I mean, I think that's sort of, to me, one of the good things that comes out of this is that, because we have the time to explore art, and, you know, we're looking for things to be inspired by, or to be made happy by.
Right.
causes us, at least for me, to go outside of my box of even genres, or things will pop up and I'll be like, yeah, I want to hear, and then be turned on to this whole other thing that I didn't know was going on. And that, to me, that's what I love about Nashville and things, is that there is this blending of talent and styles and things, and all the other musical cities, any city we've been to, there's just so much cool stuff going on. It's hard to find it all, but yet with us having this time, I think maybe now's the time.
Well, and we went the first time we were in Colorado, so a couple of years ago that he and I were there. I'd never been anywhere other than Kentucky or, Florida once, very, very limited travel. And we were in Colorado, we did Pikes Peak, and we did we got to Red Rocks, to the amphitheater. And there was a band that was warming up, vocal face band. And and they started singing. Now, for me, it is if I could only hear one song at Red Rocks Amphitheater, Hallelujah is what they sang.
Oh, wow.
Acapella. I was like, I got goosebumps talking about it. But since you know the band I'm talking about, you know what I mean. It was, the most amazing amphitheater venue I've ever seen in my life. That is the coolest place. So have you all played there, or is that
we have played there. Wow, it is the most beautiful. I mean, my memories, yes, I have wonderful memories of us playing there, but all of the shows I've gone to there over the years since I was a teenager, I mean, U2's played there so many years ago, and it's a really, really special place for a lot of reasons. It's pretty magical.
You can feel it when you're there.
You can feel it, yeah.
See, and that's interesting to hear from the other side of the stage too. If it's, and I've heard I was talking to another artist, Spencer Crandall from Colorado, and he said the same thing, that it's a great venue he would love to someday play. And I'm thinking, okay, sometime you're going to, because he's amazing too. But I know what it felt like as a spectator and somebody that was just there to visit and see it. But then when they started singing and the way that it comes off those, I was like, this is every place should have one of these, but then no place should only be there, because
it really is. In fact, I'm thinking of like Chris Isaac and Seal and INXS.
Oh yeah,
people I've seen there, and you remember those moments where they stood there, and the wind was blowing on them, and you could see their huge shadow against those rocks, and they just knew. They just took it in for a moment. So it's pretty cool.
And that makes me a little teary-eyed, only because it's like, I could only imagine, because I know what the experience was for us and for me personally with Hallelujah being sung there, that it's one of those I'll never forget. So I can only imagine as an artist how that is. So that's really cool.
I'm close to the crowd because it's really steep. So it feels like the people are closer to you than in other big playing.
Well, there were these crazy people there doing exercise or something. I was like,
yoga, like these huge yoga classes that fill the whole place.
The people running up and down the stairs, I really was worried about them for a bit. I was like, are you okay? Because I can't go up a regular flight of stairs without going, oh, where's my drink?
And it shows, like when you go to see a show, going up to the bar, it's like, I'm exhausted half the way if I can make it.
Yeah.
Is that really worth it?
We played there. So they have this thing called Film on the Rocks here. And they feature like these fabulous films, and these like cult classics and stuff, like the Big Lebowski, Pulp Fiction stuff.
Right.
We played for the Big Lebowski, and that guy, not Jeff Bridges, but the real Big Lebowski showed up. He's the dude. He's just
walking
around the stage asking everybody if they wanted to get high. And at the time with the Informants, our sax player's like, yeah, I want to get high. So he just runs out on the stage.
We're on the way to the stage.
We're already playing.
I mean, it's Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. This was before all that. But,
Oh, okay.
Which,
Was he? And he
Makes
was an informant. See?
Right.
exactly. Well, and so speaking of Colorado and, being like who we are here, the growth has been pretty astounding, as you know. And so it got to a point where people were getting very like upset and annoyed and lots of traffic, bumper to bumper. And I was like, yeah, but look what we get, like the trade-off. We get music and art and like cultural experiences 24/7. We've got bars and speakeasies and restaurants all over the place.
Yeah.
So, the traffic, I'm sure if you rolled your window down and had a conversation with this person, you'd fall in love, because
Right.
truly people are lovely people. And if they can have a one-on-one and really connect, spirit to spirit,
Right.
there's a softness that happens. And so I talked about that a lot. And I think that's how City of Love really came about, because it is hard. Life's hard and it's a hustle. And it feels like it's becoming more of a hustle all the time. And everybody wanted permission to have that collective pause to just shut
Right.
it down for a minute.
Right.
But that wasn't happening when I wrote that song. It was, just don't forget that we're more like each other than different.
Well, and the first time we stayed in, we were going to Cheyenne Frontier Days in Wyoming, and I will openly admit that I wish I could move and live in Wyoming. And I can't even explain to you what it is. There is something about Wyoming that is magical for me. I mean, the sunsets and the rainbows. Every time we're there, it gives us rainbows. But we were staying at right on the border of Colorado and Wyoming at oh my gosh, Kerry Pastine Ranch, and we were camping there. And so I have a dath piercing for my migraines, and the bead came off, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm getting ready to go to interviews, and nobody was open on a Sunday except in Loveland, Colorado. And so I drove the hour, and that was the first time, my first experience of being in Colorado down in a city. And it was beautiful, and everybody was so very nice. And I wish I had her card in front of me. I'd shout out for the piercer who fixed it, because she didn't even charge me anything on a Sunday. And I thought, what? In Louisville, they'd charge you twice what they normally would, plus gas money. So it's not, it is definitely a lot busier here. And I don't think people take as much time in the bigger cities, the more crowded cities, to stop and be still and listen and watch and see. So I'm thankful to you all for putting music out there like that. That is, whether we're going through a time like this, like everybody is now, or whether it's just a normal Saturday night or something, that we want to listen to some music and relax and not have to stress over it. I love that about you all, about talking with the two of you. I could sit here and do it forever. And I don't know. I'm so excited about tomorrow night, and I'm not finding the proper verbiage that I'm trying to, and I only have coffee.
I mean, I feel you so much. And I also, I guess what I really love about the human condition is our feelings. I mean, they're there to let us know what's working and what's not. And we can't get away from them, and we want to embrace them, but sometimes we just don't know how. And I feel like as musicians, we've always wanted to bring a good time and just let people just kind of take a load off and feel better and get on the dance floor and just work it out. And at the same time, I'm one of those personalities, and I think Paul is too, that we love the introspection. We love going within and feeling and doing the work around it.
Yeah.
to grow.
Right.
And so there's a lot of, we've got gratitude about being able to do that kind of work on ourselves and tapping in. So our music does tap into all those different things.
Right.
And we don't necessarily play, the sad ballads all the time.
That's okay though.
People dig it, sometimes, but I'm kind of spazzy and hyper anyway when I get on stage. So
You know what? That's okay. That's all that energy that you need to get out and give to everybody. Maybe somebody's having a bad day that needs that energy from you. So you never know.
Even with tomorrow night, we're even as a band texting each other going, I can't wait for tomorrow. I get to play with my favorite people, because we do miss each other, like Kerry said, but also, this is giving us the opportunity to kind of think through it, make sure that it's, because we all err on the side of caution, and and it to be able to, like, okay, Troy's got the backyard, we've had this opportunity, let's get to, like, look across and see each other, and just about playing physically in the same room as everybody, because we've been doing some recordings remote, and that's been awesome, but you miss just that live thing that happens, and this is going to give us a chance to do that, so thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you all. I'm sorry, Kerry, you were going to say something.
No, I was going to just say, how long do we get to talk?
Well, I could look until somebody tells us we got to get off here, and then I still may not listen. I don't follow the rules very well, do I, Mom?
Virginia is watching.
Yes, my mother's in the other room.
Awesome.
She's watching.
Our neighbor next door is watching.
Our neighbor next door.
Hi, neighbor next door.
His name's John Hinman, and we call him the Pie Guy. And talk about a generous spirit and soul. He's been in the restaurant industry forever, and of course, there's just like.
Yeah.
But he also does some really special, really cool stuff for the people in the restaurant industry, because, like musicians, restaurant people are caretakers, and they work really hard, and they love giving with food. It's like musicians love giving with music. And there can become this interesting, dichotomy that happens where you're worn out and you're sad and you're overworked and you're always coming down from working so hard in the industry. And so he's really tackling mental illness on behalf of people in the industry. And he's got a program called Chow, and they have these online meetings, and they talk about how they're feeling and what they're doing, and it's really proactive. So we call him the Pie Guy because he makes the best pies in the world.
Amazing.
He's known for them because he beat out like 12 grandmas in all the county fairs.
What?
That's how
okay. So when we get done here, I need John's phone number because if he can beat out 12 grandmas, I need to order a pie.
And now he's making these hand pies, like green chili and the buttery crust.
Yeah.
So he's trying, he's hustling, everybody's hustling, but I think that it's fascinating time to do things differently, for not just for musicians. I actually went and I got a haircut recently, and they took my temperature. I mean, they're like doing it. It was really cool. But I was talking to my hairdresser, and he goes, do you remember when the ombre hairstyle came out? That was from the 2008 recession. And I just stopped and went, well, inevitably we pivot and we create something new based on what is happening. And it looks like the end, but it's the beginning. And
right.
I don't know if anybody wants the same old all the time anyway. So
change is good.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what musicians actually
do. Because I've mentioned that in almost every interview is I'm very curious to see what happens to the music industry. I believe it'll be there. It'll come back. I feel like it will come back differently in a good way, because as a fan, I've enjoyed the intimate settings that the artists have brought us into. You've invited us into your home, and anybody out there watching, into your home with your orange couch, with your Casino Royale poster. Those are things that are yours that are personal to you, but you're allowing us in. And so are a lot of other artists. They're letting us see their children grow up and or what their pets doing. And it's kind of a side that you don't get to see that much of. And so I'm curious, and the acoustic sound, because that's such a calmer kind of sound, and yet you also hear the lyrics so much clearer, and you may have missed something before with all of the production.
Right.
So
It's really natural.
Yeah, right. So I'm curious how it's gonna come back. Whether, instead of having a huge show in an arena with all these pyrotechnics, is it going to be an artist just sitting there acoustically in the center of an arena playing? I don't know, but I think that the fans are enjoying the intimacy they're now able to have with the artists they love and ones they're getting to know.
I agree, and like Kerry brought up the trip we made to Austin, and like we went and saw Jimmy Vaughn, Billy Gibbons, and Sue Foley and Mike Flanagan at Antone's, which is a big like thing because I think they're all home for Christmas, and it was great.
Right.
Antone's legendary. But then on New Year's Eve, we got to go to Sea Boys, this really small club, really small, to see the Jimmy Vaughn organ trio, play, and they play when they're home. I mean, I don't know, sometimes up to like 3-4 times a week. And it was like, we were 5 feet away from Jimmy Vaughn and Sue Foley. It was really nice. And it was a lot more like this. And it makes me wonder if we will start to, if things can move in that direction to where, these small club shows to me are always those throughout my, I'm an avid concert goer, have been since I was a kid. And those really sort of one-off experiences are the ones that I remember most,
Yeah.
We had met Jimmy Vaughn once before, but he's a huge hero of mine and Kerry's, and he was nice enough because there were a lot of people there, but he kind of gave us these, and then he came over and just talked to us, and
he slugged me in the arm twice.
It was great. And it was like the nicest, coolest thing, and that's always. Luckily, I mean, we've had a chance to play with people that we admire, and I know I've been fortunate enough. I think you too. Everybody's just been exceedingly nice. But those personally, it's like this conversation with you. This is really what it's all about to me. I love playing music, but it's that connection you get to make with people that dig what you're doing that makes it.
Oh, there's a cool show that we want to turn you guys onto. So Sue Foley and Mike Flanagan, every Wednesday night, they do a Facebook Live show.
Okay.
It's Texas Blues Party. So
Texas Blues Party.
Look that up on Facebook, and they're doing an amazing job.
And they'll call one of their famous musician friends and interview them, and they tell stories and they play music, and it's cool. Today they called Jimmy Vaughn, and I had a dream about them the other night. Actually, I had a dream about Jimmy Vaughn. He was like, "Hey, you guys just wait here. I'll be right back."
It was based on that experience, and
that's pretty cool.
On the show, it's cool because they're from Texas, so they are featuring different regions of music. So the Wednesday show is Houston blues. So Lightnin' Hopkins is one of the major Houston blues musicians, and Jimmy Vaughn, because he was in the Fabulous Thunderbirds and stuff, he got to see him when he was a kid and stuff. But it was great hearing Jimmy tell stories about like this, where you admire somebody, but you don't really know what to say, and so it's like, you're like, well, what do you do? And it's Lightnin' Hopkins. So
Okay.
I love what you do. You're really cool. So
so I'll tell you one then real quick for me that happened. Like I'm just now telling the whole world this, so that'll be funny. Okay. So my genre has always been country. I grew up with it. And Garth Brooks, of course. I mean, when you think country music, you think Garth Brooks. So we were at a benefit for another artist who was recovering from cancer and had a lot of medical bills. And they kept saying there was going to be some special guests. And I told Mark, I said, Garth is going to be here. He's popping up everywhere. He's going to be there. And it was at the City Winery. So tiny little event. I mean, beautiful, lovely venue, but small. But it was packed, sold out. And so we were there as media and we were covering the event. And then all of a sudden, here comes Garth and Trisha on stage. And I'm like, I told you. But I went back backstage where we were in the media room. So him and Trisha are talking to people and taking like goosebumps even trying to say this. So I hand my phone to whoever's doing the selfie, and he says, "Hi, I'm Garth Brooks. What's your name?" And I said,
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, totally.
and he said, "Have you met Miss Yearwood?" Because what's he gonna say? You know, I could not remember my name.
Oh,
I didn't know where I was.
And it's magical, you know, and I think that, you know, that in this modern era of social media and everything, it's easy to forget that stuff, but it's important. And it's these cool things that we, you know, these interactions that we can have, that we are all just people, everybody. And it's great because we've all been there.
But I love being starstruck.
Oh, yeah.
I turned into the biggest weirdo ever. I did
Yeah.
a Vintage Trouble. I was like,
Yeah, do you know the band Vintage Trouble? That's another great band.
yeah, you got to check out Vintage Trouble.
What I want to do is when we come back to Colorado, like I want to go out with you all because it would be so much fun for us to come hang with you all and just see what kind of trouble we could get into.
I'm sure we can.
Yes.
And we'll be part of the crime scene for the night.
Heck yeah. And I did want to say, because of the country music thing, so we need to send them the Patsy Cline record.
Oh, yeah.
So
there's this really cool Western swing band that's been around in Denver for 20 years. And, you know, there's just this wonderful little scene of people who play together. And I did 2 Patsy Cline tributes. Because
I could so see that.
my girl.
It
I had a
was
big
amazing.
old bouffant, a big old cake topper dress, and we had wagon wheels on the stage, and it was fabulous. But we did do a live recording. I'll send it to you in the mail.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. Look, again, the goosebumps. So I don't know. I've had goosies like how many 10 times since we've been talking.
It all comes together, though. You know, I mean, I think that
It does.
all these styles all lend themselves. Like, it's funny. I study with a guy in LA who, you know, we study a lot of Western swing guitar and stuff. So and especially back in those days, like speaking of Jimmy Vaughn and that whole Texas scene, all these styles were all coming out of the same.
Right.
You know, there was jazz, there was blues, there was country, there was Western swing and honky tonk. They all mixed. And like one of Jimmy Vaughn's favorite, or, you know, the quotes that he's known for is that back then it was just good music or bad music, and everybody just likes what they like, and so it wasn't one thing or another. It was just, hey, I love Bob Wills, and you know, so does your buddy down the street, or Lightning Hopkins or whatever. You know, it didn't seem weird then that you liked all these different styles, and that's always how we did.
Well, I've always said it because my daughter is 30. Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me. 31. She's either 31 or 32. I'm having trouble keeping up with my age. And then my son is 22. And both of them can listen to things from, you know, Build Me Up Buttercup to EDM. You know, the spectrum that is so broad. And I always say that's just good parenting.
That's
yes, thank you for saying that. My daughter Joy is 36, and she has this record collection that is like, you know, big band and exotica.
Yes, but yes.
South Pacific, and then she's got this she's a hip hop chick all the way. So it's
If
cool.
there is no Perry Como at Christmas time, my daughter is not happy. So
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good parenting. If you can,
That's right.
they have to be. I could have just had homeschooled and music only. So
Yeah, music and dance.
Yeah.
well, that'll take a whole lot of wine for me to even do, and then it's more like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Isn't it fun? I mean,
It's just
Paul and
fun.
we'll come upstairs and we just do this all the time now. I mean, we just bought some pickles from our neighbor and they're so good. And so we eat a pickle and we're doing like a pickle dance. And I don't know what happened. Something happened, but
Well, we've
been doing a lot of dancing.
We did a record listening party here. Speaking of the drinking wine,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we were drinking whiskey. I drank a lot of whiskey.
Did you know we did a?
There you go.
Oh yes.
And
we did a record party and we played all like just 50s and 60s stuff.
Oh, cool.
So if you wanna just like drink some whiskey and cut a rug. I think it's on my page, and then just click it.
And I'm
Okay, yeah.
I get a little shy near dance floors and stuff too, but maybe it's something about the quarantine.
I mean, it could be the quarantine.
Yeah.
It could definitely be the quarantine.
Yeah. But I was dancing the whole night. I couldn't stop.
I have to say hi to Ryan Chris, who has a band called Ryan Chris and the Rough Cuts.
Okay, they're amazing.
So okay, there you go.
I mean, Ryan and I have been emailing back and forth, and I know, Ryan, if you're still watching, which I hope you are, I have not responded, but promise you I will. It's been crazy, the response that we've been getting. And yes, Ryan, and we're going to get something together to get them on because they are amazing.
Totally.
And you know what? They're all
people.
the coolest people. They're really good friends of ours. We've all, like basically everybody in that band, we've played with them throughout the years. We've all been in different bands. So the Colorado music community is tight and loving and beautiful.
I love that.
Oh,
See, that has to say something about just Colorado in general. See, I told you all at the beginning of this that because we've never talked before and we've never been online before. All I've seen are pictures, and pictures are great, but then it's like you all are beautiful people. But after talking with you, stop it. After talking with you for a while, you're even more. I mean, I love you guys. So we are going to have to come hang out with you all the next time we're in Colorado. And
just do a show. We'll have Ryan, Chris, because we do shows with them all the time.
Is it Tommy? We'll use Tommy's backyard.
Tommy Nahulu?
Oh,
no.
Our bass player.
Oh, Troy. I had the T right.
No.
But yeah, we can do a hang. And then Larry Nix?
Larry Nix. Oh my God, you have to check out Larry Nix.
All right, I'm making my list.
And we'll email too, because Larry.
Coolest dude.
Oh, man.
Okay. Nix. He's from Alabama. He lives here in Denver. He's got the voice of an angel. He plays amazing guitar. He's a country boy, and he's just amazing. In fact, we also did a Christmas show together, and we did a duet. We did Nancy Sinatra and Lee Hazelwood's Summer Wine together.
Oh, cool.
He came out in silver spurs, and I was like,
I love it.
Like wardrobe, costume, the whole thing. It was awesome.
I love it. That's great.
So
maybe we'll have to do like a quarantine album after all this is over and get all of them together.
Oh, and the Railbenders.
Oh, the Railbenders.
They've been around Denver for.
So you all make a list for me, then I'm gonna go down that list and get everybody on here, and then at the end of it, like I'm gonna let everybody know when we're on our way to Colorado, and we're just gonna do one big like quarantine reunion.
Be like.
And they wrote a song called I-70 Westbound. So
Railbenders.
when you're on the highway, you'll be singing that. So
I do that. Like when we go into a different state, I'll Google like what artist is from this state, and I'll play their music and then post it on social media and go, when you're in, Georgia, you have to play, or I'll find.
We so appreciate it. I mean, I can't tell you how helpful it is. Because again, like we said, it's hard to find. There's a lot of great music out there right now, and I hear people say a lot that music isn't what it used to be or whatever, and it's just it's not true. It's just there's just too much of it. So if we can find these little pockets of fans and people that we like, there's a lot of overlap in bands that everybody kind of digs.
Yep. Which is a cool thing too when artists support artists, because the competition in some cities, I won't mention any. The competition, it becomes ridiculous, because if you support each other, you're going to get somewhere so much quicker. Right. Everybody wins. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for spending some time with me tonight and working through this whole StreamYard thing. This is only our second StreamYard show, so it seems to have gone okay so far. And then I'll play the City of Love video, but
I think it's
better than Zoom.
Yeah, I think it's. I was just gonna say, I think it's better than Zoom. You've been very clear, and yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why I like it is I'm not a big fan of recording a video and then going back and putting it up, because then I feel like I have to write something about it, and I'm too lazy right now. So but
this is real.
And just
yeah,
uploading it's a big deal. So it's nice.
It is. But I think there is something about that live feel of people being able to, one, I mean, my mom and her best friend. So Donna is my mother, and Patricia Voiles is her best friend, and they've been friends for like, I don't know, 50 years. So one of them's probably going to correct me on that. So I'm just sitting here watching them go back and forth. It's hilarious. But
right now, she's in Arizona, so that's
okay, cool. But we'll so tomorrow night, and it's 9 o'clock Eastern time, which is 6 o'clock Pacific time, right?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7
Yeah,
o'clock
okay.
Standard time.
Mountain, that's right. I always get it mixed up on whether I'm 3 hours behind or when I'm out there. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care what time it is.
Whenever the sun goes down.
And it has nothing to do with what's legal in your state. Like, it has nothing to do with that. I just can't keep there's no purpose in telling time. You just have to live in the moment out there. It's great. So, but
I think that's what we're trying to all do right now, is just be a little bit more in the moment and having this kind of, like I said, collective pause.
Yes.
Has given us a chance to I don't know, just.
There's the cat.
There's the cat.
You're making an exit interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we're excited to play, and I have to say, Laura, you really have made my day. You really made my day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's interesting, there's this kind of thing that happens throughout the day when you don't default to your normal, and you don't have to, which should be really freeing, and sometimes it is, but other times it's kind of scary.
Right.
So, and then all the shoulds pop up, So I was really excited to talk to you, and I so appreciate you. Thank you for reaching out to us.
Oh, I'm sending kisses and virtual hugs, and I love you guys. I cannot wait to actually see you and meet you in person. But until then, we will make sure we stay in touch, and I look forward to tomorrow night. And
by the way, I did a boost on our event.
Okay.
And people just go to thecrimesceneband.com. There's a big old fat donate button.
Okay. Okay, cool.
They'll be able to do that if they want to, just so they don't have to do PayPal or Venmo or all that stuff.
I'll make sure. Did you add that to the event? Okay.
Sure did.
All righty. Great.
So,
I'm so excited.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye. You all make sure you check them out.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.